What's up guys, it's Manga Time once again. I'm here today to bring you my review of Bleach 558, The Heart of the Wolf. And this was a really good chapter. I don't think anyone was really expecting this. It goes in some rather... it goes in a way that we weren't really expecting, but it does actually makes a lot of sense. But I'll get into that in a minute. We actually get a colour manga page, which I wasn't expecting either. I thought we were just going to get one of those single colour pages that he does occasionally, and I thought it was going to be on Komamura. But it's not. What the manga page is, it's basically the grandfather saying, like, you know, you did well, you acted like a member of our clan, and I'm proud of you. And we get his colours, and he's watching over the Heart Bowl. And there's like a child Komamura at the top as well, which is neat. But you don't get to see his face. And then the actual colour page is covered in white, typically. But it's like a colour page of Ichigo and Renji in like costume, which is awesome because we haven't had one of these in ages. And it just seems to reinforce the idea that Bleach's popularity is actually coming back. But it's basically just a set of coffins with a red cross on them. And then Ichigo's coming out of one, and Renji's sitting in the other. And they have pink insides to them. And it says, "Don't sleep till you sleep," which is kind of cool. But yeah. I think it's neat, actually. We haven't had a colour page like that in ages. But basically, the chapter starts with just before the explosion at the end of the last chapter, and the people who guessed that was Bambietta's explosion were correct. What happened was, Dangai Joe pushed her, she tried to use her explosions, but Dangai Joe basically knocked them back into her body and caused her to explode. Which is hilarious. I thought she was dead, actually. I'm not going to lie. On the first panel, I thought she was dead because there was nothing left of her. That's what I thought anyway. But then she falls out of it, and I'm like, okay, she's fine. Not fine, but she's not dead. Then we get this really cool page, actually, where Dangai Joe hits the ground, and in the background you can still see Bambietta falling, which is neat. And then she hits the floor miles away, so she's actually really far away now. And then, like, it looks like the fire in Dangai Joe's eyes starts to go out, but his gaze is on Yhwach's castle. And then he basically gets destroyed. And at this point, I was like, Komamura's going to die. Oh my god, he's going to die. But he doesn't, and Kubo does something quite different and quite interesting with it, actually, I think. But I don't know if I prefer it to Komamura dying or not. But basically, yeah, he wanted to get to the castle and defeat Yhwach. That was his original intention. Probably would never have happened, but, you know, he could have maybe had a good shot at it because he was immortal, I suppose. But basically, as he's desperately trying, he can't really move. There's a lot of blood, actually, I think. I don't know what that's all about, because Komamura hasn't taken a hit, really. But, yeah, you get, like, this monologue from his grandfather saying, you know, it's fine. Do you realise that you feel a thirst for revenge? And then we get this neat flashback to when Tozen died, which is great because a lot of people compared what Komamura was saying and feeling to this moment. And, you know, the grandfather was like, you told your friend that revenge is just the useless sacrifice of one's life. I don't know how the grandfather knows that, unless Komamura told him for some reason. Apparently their clan is made for revenge. And you finally went back to your original form, and you came back to our clan. And he starts turning back into an animal. However, he's no longer anthropomorphic. He's basically an actual wolf, as opposed to a wolf that can stand up and everything. And he looks so weird. It's so weird seeing Komamura like that. But apparently this is known as the compensation. You become a beast seeking revenge. So, you know, it's a bit dark, really, this Komamura situation. And you know, apparently the grandfather still lives relishing in that black resentment. And since the grandfather is an actual wolf, I would think that he did this human transformation once as well, and has now become this forever, I presume. And he says, thank you for doing this for me. And yeah, so obviously the grandfather did this at one point as well. So it looks like there's possibly no coming back from it. Um, and I don't know what he does now. He like does he eat the heart or he licks it or something? But yeah, Komamura transforms into a proper wolf, and this is really signified by the fact that he's no longer holding his sword. He can't pick it up, obviously. And he collapses to the ground, and it does look really weird actually, because you know it's Komamura. And he's kind of thinking, just lying there thinking to himself, you know, is this the compensation for selling my soul to revenge? You know, and he realizes the error of his ways. You know, the compensation for not considering what I told Tozen, a warning to myself. And then Eva arrives. Don't know where he's been the whole time, but he picks up Komamura. He must be pretty strong. Lifts him over his back. I quite like this bit actually. This is nice. And he's like, you know, Captain, you're not wrong. You weren't wrong. Let's fight and defeat Yhwach for Yamamoto. That's nice. They're such a bro division. But yeah, that's the last we see of Komamura for this fight. Probably the last we'll see of him for a while, I think. But that indicates that he can still come back as some feral wolf, which would be pretty freaking cool. However, we then arrive to the most interesting part of the chapter, in my opinion. Bambietta is on the ground. She's like smoke billowing off her, but she's not dead. But she is defeated. So yes, Komamura. She got no hat anymore or anything like that. And she's like, you know, how could I lose to a Shinigami? Why of the 5 of us was I beaten first? You know, I can't forgive this. I definitely can't. I like this because to me, it's like Kubo's pulling a kind of really interesting switch. At least I think he is, anyway. All this time it's been painted that Bambietta is the most powerful of the 5 and the leader of the 5. But what if she's not? You know, that would be really cool, actually, I think. And then her mates come up, and they're like standing over her, and they're creepy as hell. I really don't care about the other two still, but Giselle and Lil Toto are neat. Lil Toto's eating again, so I definitely think she's probably the glutton. That is definitely what I think. So Giselle's like leaning over her, and she says, "We'll help you," and pulls this creepy ass face, where she's like, "We're sad if you're not with us, you know." And Bambietta just says, "No, stop, don't do it, Giselle." And that's all we see. So, what the hell is going on? So, when I read it first, my immediate thought was that they ate her, or more that Lil Toto ate her. You know, akin to Gluttony from Full Metal Alchemist. But then I realised it was Giselle who was doing something. That's what Gigi means. So I don't think it is Lil Toto. Maybe Giselle's Z stands for the zombie, and she's zombifying Bambietta. That'd be kind of neat. But I think it'd be very, very cool if Bambietta actually wasn't the most powerful, and just like to think she was, and they kind of tolerated it, because she was mental. But we don't get to see what happens. We probably won't get to see what happens for ages. Renji and Rukia arrive, whoa, and they've got the funky Arabian clothes on as well, which I'm really glad. But they're on their way now, and they're like, I can finally see Soul Society, but it's more correct to call it Wandenreich now, Vandenreich. And they comment that night will come soon. I was really glad to hear that, because it means that the first day of fighting is almost over. And I really hope Kubo does actually play this out for whole 9 days. That'd be great. I'd love to see that. But it's also interesting to see what fights, if any, will take place during the night time. And then Rukia says, "Let's hurry, Renji," and we get to see her face, sort of. And she's got like this cool kind of mask thing on now, almost as not style, which is interesting. But yeah, she looks cool. She does look very cool. And they're on their way, and that's the end of the chapter. So the question is, who are they going to fight? This was a good chapter, actually. I liked it. I'm going to drop a 9 on it. The resolution of Komamura's fight was interesting. I did not see it going that way. I thought Komamura was going to die. I'm glad he didn't. It makes it more of a clear win for him. Although, I don't know what's going to happen to him now. Is he going to... I presume he's going to fight again at some point. But whether he's missed his chance to die or not, I'm not sure. He could die again, I suppose. Because he's not really going to want to be this dog, is he? Let's be honest. That's not really Komamura's thing. But definitely the most interesting part is what happened with Bambietta. What do you guys think happened to her? Let me know in the comments below. I think she was either eaten by little Toto, or she was zombified by Giselle. Although I don't know why, because unless she was properly beaten, like so beaten she couldn't get back up, I don't really see the point in that. But yeah, creepy. Maybe they hate her. They might have done. But yeah, that was interesting. I thought it was really interesting. And then Rukia and Renji arrive. That's nice. No Byakuya, obviously, because Byakuya is going to come pretty much towards the end, I think. We all know he's going to have some awesome rematch against Az. And he'll probably, obviously, win. But it should be a great fight. I hope it will be. And Kuba's clearly hyping it up. So that's fine with me, because it means Az is going to survive for longer. But who's Renji and Rukia going to fight? I was kind of thinking Renji would fight Master Match King. And maybe Rukia. It'd be G if Rukia took on all 4 Fenritters on her own and just decked them out, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know who Rukia will fight. Maybe it's time for someone like Shaz Domino to come back. But no, yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested. Should be really good. As for next week, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to go straight to Renji and Rukia next week, or if that was merely to let us know that they're almost there. Because they can finally, all they can do is they can see it, so they're not that close yet. Well, they kind of are. It'll probably take them at best maybe half an hour, I reckon, to get there still. So I reckon we could fit another fight in. Maybe another fight. I don't know. I'd like to see. I don't know really what's going to happen next now, because pretty much all the fights have been finished, and then people like BG9 and Kangdu obviously gone into their Volston dig and come out and are still alive, so they might take on new opponents. Maybe Renji and Rukia will come in straight away and fight their enemies, or at least at the end of the chapter, perhaps. But yeah, it looks like the first day of fighting is almost over. It's gonna be great if this lasts 9 days. But yeah, the first day of fighting is almost done. I'm really interested to see what the next one brings. And like I said, if there is any fighting overnight. But you would think they would kind of take breaks, like intervals, at times. I really hope they do, because that would give us a chance to like get to know the Sturmitor again a bit more, because we still don't really. They can have a chance to talk to each other if they all kind of vacate the battlefield for a little bit of time, kind of like No Man's Land, a la World War One. If they all kind of leave it and then come back to it to fight again. So yeah, it'd be neat to see them talk. And there's no reason why they can't do that, because their castle is there, so they could just fuck off back to the castle while the Shinigami are like running around. That'd be great. I'd love to see that. Whether we will or not, I don't know. But I don't think there's any reason why not. So yeah, that's the chapter really, guys. Like I said, 9 out of 10. I thought it was really good. My panel of the week. This is kind of difficult because there was no really real standout panel. I didn't think necessarily. The colour page was really nice. Both colour pages were nice. Very Kubo fashion though to make one of them white heavy, but the actual first colour page was really good. But I don't know really, as far as actual panel of the weeks go, because like I said, there wasn't that many. The picture of Rukia's face was cool, and the creepy looking Sturmitors were neat as well. Yeah, I don't know, probably something like that, I guess. Or just one of the colour pages. Like I said, it wasn't really that standout. In fact, I'm having a hard time deciding what to use as a thumbnail, because there's not really anything that awesomely cool this week. So yeah, but that's it guys, really. I'll catch you later on, probably. But until then, I shall see you later. Yeah, the usual, don't forget to comment, subscribe, etc. Let me know what you think. I mainly want to know what you think's happened to Bambietta, because that's the most interesting part to me. But also, who do you think Renji and Rukia are going to fight? And they've obviously gotten considerably stronger. I think that's kind of what the clothes symbolise. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think. Until then, see you later, guys.